Have you ever felt the subtle ache of something ending, even when nothing around you seems to have changed? Have you ever stood in the middle of your life, surrounded by everything familiar, and still felt like a stranger to yourself? This is not a breakdown. This is a beginning disguised as an ending. Letting go rarely starts with a decision. It begins with a quiet discomfort, a restlessness in your soul that no accomplishment can soothe. You start to notice the way your laugh doesn't reach your eyes anymore, the way conversations feel rehearsed, the way your dreams echo in the distance, growing faint under the weight of routines and responsibilities. Most people ignore these signs. They pour another cup of coffee, scroll a little longer, numb a little deeper. But if you're watching this, maybe you haven't numbed yourself completely. Maybe some part of you still remembers who you were before the world told you who to be. That part of you isn't broken, it's awake. And that awakening is the first sign. You don't need a crisis to outgrow your life. Sometimes evolution begins in silence. Sometimes your soul whispers, "It's time." We are taught that control is strength. Hold it together, hold it all, hold on. We grip tightly to identities that no longer fit, to stories that no longer serve, to people who no longer see us. Why? Because control makes us feel safe. It makes us feel prepared. But in truth, control is often a mask for fear. We fear the unknown, so we cling to the known. We replay the same relationships, the same arguments, the same doubts, because they're familiar. And familiarity is comforting, even when it's painful. But here's the paradox. The more we try to control life, the more life resists us. The universe does not bend to control. It dances with surrender. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means making space. It means trusting that when you stop forcing the puzzle to fit, something greater begins to arrange itself. Look closely. The heaviness you feel may not be from what you're carrying, but from how tightly you're holding it. We were not born clenched. We were born open. Open to wonder, open to change, open to becoming. And when it's time to step into a new chapter, the old one begins to feel like a cage, even if it once felt like home. That discomfort, that misalignment, that's life inviting you to unclench, to stop gripping so hard, to begin again. One of the deepest reasons we struggle to let go is this. We've confused who we are with what we've survived. We've built our identities around our wounds, our work, our roles. I'm the strong one. I'm the achiever. I'm the one who never quits. But what if that's not who you are? What if that's who you had to become to survive? And now, survival is no longer the goal. You don't need to prove your worth anymore. You don't need to overthink every move, like your life is a chessboard and the universe is an opponent. You are not here to perform. You are here to awaken. When you overthink, it's not because you're broken. It's because your soul is trying to outgrow the box your ego built. Your mind spins stories. Your ego seeks security, but your spirit wants freedom. Letting go isn't about fixing anything. It's about remembering that you were never your thoughts. You were the sky, vast, infinite, mistaking yourself for the clouds that pass through. So how do you know when it's time? How do you know that you're not just restless, but truly ready to let go? There are signs, Not loud, not dramatic, but subtle echoes that something within you has shifted. 1. The things you once chased no longer excite you. You start noticing the emptiness behind the goals you thought would fulfill you. The validation, the status, the someday dream. It all begins to lose its shine. 2. Conversations feel hollow. You can no longer pretend to enjoy the small talk, the shallow performances, the roles you've played so well. You're not angry. You're just done. 3. Silence feels more honest than pretending. You start to crave stillness, not out of sadness but out of reverence. You stop needing to explain yourself. You just are. 4. The future no longer feels like something to control. You begin to trust, not because you know what's next, but because you finally realize you don't have to. 5. You're grieving things that haven't happened yet. Letting go isn't always about the past. Sometimes it's about surrendering the version of the future you once expected. The timeline, the plan, the illusion of how it was supposed to be. These are not breakdowns. These are awakenings. Something sacred happens when you begin to say, I don't know who I'm becoming, but I trust her. I trust him. I trust what's trying to emerge from me. Letting go doesn't mean you lose yourself. It means you lose what you were never meant to carry. There's a moment in the letting go process that feels like death. And in many ways it is. It's the death of ego, the death of certainty, the death of all the masks you've worn to stay liked, needed, validated. You will feel naked. You will feel like everything is falling apart. But in that emptiness, something beautiful grows. Not a new identity, but a deeper truth. The you that existed before the world told you who to be. The you that is not performance, not perfection, but presence. You see, the ego wants to be somebody, but the soul is content being nobody in particular. The ego wants applause. The soul just wants peace. And when you finally let go, really let go, you return to something ancient within you, a knowing, a softness, a power that whispers, you were always enough, even in silence, even in stillness, even in becoming. The old self will resist this. It will cling to stories of, I'm not ready, I'm too late, I'm not enough. But none of that is real. Those are echoes of a version of you that lived in fear. You are not that fear. You are not that voice. You are the awareness watching it fade. There comes a point in your journey where no amount of journaling, therapy, goal setting, or self-analysis can carry you any further. You reach the edge. Not a metaphorical one, a real internal cliff where your next step is no longer built on logic, but on trust. The mind panics here. It wants a map, a strategy, a reason. But the soul only wants one thing, freedom. And freedom requires surrender. Not partial surrender, not I'll let go if I know what comes next. Real surrender. The kind where you throw the old scripts into the fire without knowing what will rise from the ashes. You stop asking, what will I get if I let go? And start asking, who will I become if I stop holding on? That's the true initiation. That's the rebirth. It's not flashy. There's no spotlight, no applause, no checklist, just you, breathing, listening, letting the weight fall off, letting the old self dissolve into the soil, letting your heart whisper, I'm ready now, not because I have answers, but because I've stopped needing them. This is the power of letting go. It doesn't give you a perfect life, it gives you a truthful one. And in a world addicted to noise, to chasing, to pretending, Truth is the rarest form of power you can possess. So, I'll leave you with this. If something inside you is whispering, if I stay where I am, I will die a little more each day. Don't ignore that. That's not anxiety. That's not fear. That's your soul trying to break through. Let it. Burn the old timeline. Bury the version of you that was built to survive. Say goodbye to the chapters that are quietly suffocating you, and walk into the fire, not to be consumed, but to be transformed. This is not the end. It's the door. It's the invitation. It's the beginning of everything your old self was too afraid to imagine. Let go. Not because it's easy, but because it's time. And if you felt this in your bones, share it. Sit with it. Return to it. Because the next version of you is already waiting on the other side.